Welcome back to the MedBros channel, and today we're going to be doing a topic that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and also is a topic that makes me think anyone that has reached the age of 80 has effectively won the lottery. Like, there are so many things that could kill you in such horrifying ways that after lecture sometimes I just come home and curl up in the ball in the corner of my room and think about puppies and other things that make me happy, like puppies. So let's get right into it. Viewer discretion is advised, and good luck. So if you were a 90s kid like myself, you have definitely heard of the mad cow disease scare. Knowing it was a weekend and the monthly trip to McDonald's had finally arrived and you were gonna get there and get that Happy Meal toy with that little cheeseburger and your McChicken or your nugget, and all this instantly being crushed when your mom got her roller and hit you upside the head and said, "What you thinking, boy? There's some mad cows out there." I couldn't go to Mickey D's for years after this, and I missed out on so many Happy Meals. That might be the true tragedy in this story. I mean, when I went to school and I saw little Timmy with his little Jigglypuff squirting the little water gun, you best believe I was damn jealous. Anyways, in this video, we're gonna go into what the hell is going on with these cows and how does this relate to humans, and is this an issue that is ongoing right now?
It caught the attention of everyone in the newsroom today when the government reported a new case of mad cow disease.
A disease that impacts 1 in a million people has changed the life of a Middle Tennessee man. Now, initially, doctors gave Tony Gibson, the man here, just months to live, but now he requires 24-hour, around-the-clock care.
So to uncover this, let's go to the start. Mad cow, or bovine spongiform encephalopathy, was first reported in 1986 in the UK and affected 180,000 cattle. This disease has a long incubation period, which means it just kind of hangs out in the animal and slowly over time it takes hold of the host. So basically what this means is there's a cow and he's super chill, and then over time all of a sudden they just start acting weird and they have all this abnormal gait and they're all hyper-reflexive and they have these tremors and they're falling over and they're running around in circles and they're licking themselves and just rubbing themselves all day, and then yeah, it's really weird. And eventually, once the symptoms have run its course, the cow will drop into a coma and die within a couple months. So that's creepy, and all these cows are acting kind of trippy and then they kind of pass out and die. But what does that have to do with humans? Because that's all we care about, right? Well, in 1996, there was the first identified case of a disease called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Well, in 1996, there was the first identified case of a disease called variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Nailed it. The infected individual showed odd behaviors, dementia, painful sensations, awkward gait, overreaction to certain stimuli, and death within months. Does that sound familiar? Well, scientists quickly followed up with a precise pathological analysis of the infected brains of VCJD and promptly compared them to the BSC brains, and were piqued when they found that there were similarities in the molecular makeup of misfolded proteins that were eventually named prions. Basically, to keep everyone on the same page, mad cow disease, which equals bovine spongiform encephalopathy, that's a disease where you get crazy cows. Variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease is essentially the same thing, same kind of pathology in humans, just to keep everything straight. So it turns out we can actually get variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease from eating these infected cows that have mad cow disease. And that is all because what is causing this disease seems to be linked to these proteins that are misfolded called prion.
Abnormal infectious protein called a prion is believed to be the cause of CJD, actually creating holes in and around neurons in the brain.
It co-opts the normal protein and then it becomes a self-replicating or self-amplifying process.
And these abnormal proteins called prions are what are laying dormant in the brains of humans and cows, and eventually will lead to the symptoms that we see. It's basically like living with a biochemical time bomb that will take years to go off, and when it does, you're in big trouble. So once this connection was made and went public in the news, enter the mad cow scare, which then meant no more Mickey D's. I couldn't even sneak in a McChicken. Mad cow was a huge deal in the UK, where it was killing thousands of new cows each week in 1993. It hit the US in 2003, and the response was classically American. Came to get your gun and we're gonna get down to the farm and kill every single last one of these son of a... 130 cattle that were herd mates of the infected cow were killed. And I can't believe this was a thing, but hallelujah, they stopped the feeding of the brain and spinal cord tissue to cows in their cow feeds. I guess this disease is kind of like Attack on Titan, where if you eat those spinal cord contents, bad things are gonna happen. In 1997, there were a number of people from Kentucky that developed VCJD, possibly from eating squirrel brain. What the? But eventually, the first woman to die from VCJD in the US was a Punjabi woman named Charlene Singh. Oh, and in 2015, a New York man got VCJD from eating squirrel brains. What the? So that's enough history, so let's get into the scary sauce. What exactly happens to these patients? So after the long incubation period is over and these prions have made your brain their own penthouse suite full with room service from your neurons and glial cells, they begin to tear the whole place down. The first thing that happens is a rapidly progressive dementia. Following quickly after is a loss of muscle control and myoclonus. I'm talking one day you're fine and within weeks you have personality changes, anxiety, depression, memory loss. You can't think straight, you're scared, you're confused, and early on you can comprehend what is going on and what is going to happen. Along with motor disturbances of your limbs, you can also have difficulty speaking, difficulty swallowing, and all your movements become very jerky. Many people will fall into a coma and succumb to heart failure, respiratory failure, pneumonia, or other infections almost always within the year that they were diagnosed. I can hear some of you already saying, hey Herman, why don't we just zap these prions and just be done with it, bro? Well, that would be nice, but too bad these little are resistant to our natural defenses of proteases, high temperatures, UV radiation, disinfectants, or any other conventional sterilization procedure. So yeah, they're like crazy strong. So as it stands now, there have been some breakthroughs, such as tests to identify live cattle that have the disease instead of checking the brains of dead cattle, so we can better identify BSE cows. The latest scare was an isolated case of a BSE cow in Scotland, but sadly as of now we have not made any progress in curing the disease and the prognosis is still very poor. Overall, VCJD is a rare disease. You have a 1 in a million chance of getting it. Despite these numbers, it's still one of the scariest diseases out there and is gonna round out this first episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is a project I've wanted to start for a while now. There's a lot of things I want to talk about in this series. So make sure to hit subscribe and become one of the Med Bros, and we will see you guys in the next one.